Even without direct involvement, India's energy costs, trade flows, markets, and inflation outlook are already feeling the ripple effects of the Iran war, with larger macroeconomic risks looming if the conflict widens or persists. Here's a clear 10-point summary of how the Iran war could impact India based on recent reliable reporting. India imports around 85 to 90% of its crude oil. Conflict near the Strait of Hormuz, through which much of India's oil arrives, has already pushed up global prices, increasing India's import bill and inflation risk. With higher oil prices and capital flight from emerging markets, the Indian rupee has weakened against the dollar, adding pressure on the economy. Indian equity markets have reacted meditatively, with major indices like the Sensex and Nifty sliding amid risk of sentiment tied to Middle East tensions. Indian basmati rice exporters are already reporting shipment disruptions and payment delays due to uncertainty in West Asia trade routes. The conflict poses a threat to India's electronics exports worth billions to Gulf countries, especially if shipping routes through the Strait of Hormuz are disrupted. Indian carriers like Indigo, Air India and others face revenue hits due to flight cancellations, rerouting and increased fuel costs, with estimates of hundreds of crores in losses. Higher crude prices tend to flow through into domestic fuel, transport and food costs, potentially raising CPI inflation and squeezing household budgets. The strategic waterway handles about 20% of global oil trade. Any blockade or disruption would hit India's energy security, freight costs and import diversification challenges. A sustained spike in energy prices could widen India's current account deficit and put pressure on foreign capital flows and fiscal balances. Rating agencies and analysts warn that a prolonged conflict could strain India's broader economic indicators, inflation, trade balances and policy flexibility, especially if global supply chains remain disrupted.